Hello and welcome back. Today we'll be going over the program section of your client dashboard. So let's begin. So once you've logged in and you've done your good morning stuff, sounds great, meditated, you drank your water, you're all good, and now you're ready to do some work. Now you have two options. You can either do the program or go to the home that I built you. But let's start off with a program. So you would just click on the drop down menu and you're presented with three options. Of course your plugin, so let's plug in, let's see what that's all about. And you got your calendar, your clock, and of course your little playlist. And if you hit the drop down menu this time, it's not Spotify, I've just included some YouTube channels, three of my favorite ones that I listen to. And then once we're plugged in, now we can move on to the progress bar. And this is exactly what it is. It's just giving you, it's just a place where you can see how you're progressing. No action is required in here. It's just all information to get you started, get you ready before you dive into your work. Okay, so you're presented with these updates. Anything related to the program will be up in this section. And then how we looking? This is just based on a date. You know how much of your day, your week, your month, and your year is consumed based on today's date. And of course my little anime. And then you have tasks for the week. And then also Slack general updates, right? So if there were any Slack updates, they would be here. I wonder if I could. Yeah, I guess they're all cleared out. So basically, any tasks that you have, that would include your morning tasks, your program tasks, and your evening tasks. They would all be combined into a combined score, and that's where you will see it here. So it's not just giving you an update on one specific habit tracker, but all of your 3 habit trackers combined here. And then any Slack updates would be here. So if there's a message that falls into the Slack general channel, you would get a notification in this area where you can click on it and actually see the message. Okay, and then just for some fun, I always add a little bit of trackers here. Just personal trackers, whether it's water, whether it's coffee, or some push-ups, right? You can plus, minus, or just hit the reset button. Okay. Now that you're all plugged in, you've given you got your updates. Now it's time to do some tasks. So you just hit the drop-down menu for tasks, and you're presented with a couple of options. One, information about what's top for the month. This is just information. Here's your brain dump in case you need to do a brain dump, and so let's take a look at that. When you click on that, you're brought to your brain dump section. Gives you a little bit of instructions here in the drop view menu, and then let's get started, right? So you're just given a visual and then also a Pomodoro timer here. You can have it set at 25, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, whatever it is, and some sections here where my clients can go ahead and just dump whatever they need to off their brains, and I've just wrote a couple of examples here to get it started. Okay. So let's back up from here. So that's a brain dump. And here's just another fun timer. I have it set at 2 hours. Typically, I want to focus on certain things in blocks and chunks. So overall, when I'm working on my, on these type of tasks, I just want to do a 2-hour timer, right? So you can see that you'll just do a 2-hour timer here. You can always reset that. Now let's move on to the actual tasks, right? So it's broken down with your daily tasks and your weekly tasks. With the daily tasks, you can again just click on the title or the actual link on the bottom. You'll be brought to the same place. And here you are. This is your daily task. You have a plugin. Let's check it out. You'll notice a lot with the plugins there's some sort of quote. There's always some music, some anime background, date and time, what have you. But let's take a look at the list of tasks. And with our list, you have 2 options. You can either do a table view or a gallery view, right? Depending. Whatever preference you have. Let's start off with your morning task. Just click on open, click on the morning routine, and now you're brought to your morning routine page. Again, keeping in line and keeping the same theme of simple, calm. I don't like to use too much attention grabbing when you want to keep it calm. So you'll notice it's just very simple here. You have 2 options, either do your task or just check how you're doing. Right? So let's do an example here, morning tasks. Again, you have the option of either the list view or the grouping view, which you can go in and tick individually. Just click on one or whichever date you're on, and then here you are, you're presented with your tasks. And these are all predetermined when we do the intake when you join my program. right? So you just tick off wherever, whichever you've completed, and as you notice I'm ticking off, you can see the status is increasing, and that will also give me a percentage of how well you're doing, right? And that's for your morning tasks. Now the progress report is just simply that. It'll give you a report on how well you're doing based on the quarter, right? Now let's back up and let's go back to daily tasks, and let's go to the program tasks, the DCL. Same idea, click on open, click on the link, and you're brought to your DCL page. Same idea, you have your daily tasks, but you're presented with a couple more options. But let's do the daily tasks. Same sort of format, either the list view or the block view, and you just click off. And again, these are all predetermined and all discussed when we meet for our intake, right? So create content, post content, lead gen, all this good stuff. Okay, so let's close that off. You already know what the progress report looks like. Now, top for the month. And this is where you would put your top priorities for the month. Where you notice in the progress bar, there's that section that said 3 top for the month. This is where you would actually fill it in, right? So you come in here and you just fill in or update it, whether you've completed or create a new top of the list, right? So let's just close this off. And then you have updates, which is just general updates about the program, which you can also get in the progress bar. The purpose why I put it in here was just to avoid having my clients click back to get that in case, because this information is relevant to the page that they're on. And then the last one here is recent coaching sessions. So this isn't the entire coaching session, which you saw as an attachment under the main view screen. This will just give my client a picture of their action items, right? So I'll give you an example. Here's a couple. You do a drop down, and you can see these are the action items that I discussed with my client during that week session, right? Okay, and so let's back up from here. And then the last task on here is your evening routine. Now, this mind, body, and soul is just something that a client of mine kind of determined we should add in case, you know, we want to add more things in here. These are just blank, you can create your own. But the last one here is your evening routine, and this is the same idea. You click on the link, you're brought to your evening routine list, do the drop down. Again, you can either do the table view or the list view. And same idea, just open one and click off what you've completed on your predetermined list of habits to do for the evening. Okay. Now let's back up from the daily tasks and let's take a look at the weekly tasks. Now weekly tasks, let's take a look. You have a plugin, love it. I love these plugins. So it's like a little nice surprise. Okay, pretty cool. And now let's take a look at your list. Now this is a bit different from the other list because this one here is just a bit more general. You know, you can create your own, and things that you finish or want to move around, you can just kind of drag things around if in case this needs to go to Thursday instead, or what have you, right? And just a quick visual for my clients, as opposed to, you know, a list of things. It's just right there in their face. Okay, so that's the weekly task. So let's back up from here. And then below that you have your Slack, your monthly, and your motivation. So Slack is everything dealing with your Slack channel. So when you click down here, this is a link to your direct private channel with me. So every client of mine is requested to create a Slack channel. Obviously it's free of charge. And then I put our private conversation link here. And then also anything that falls in a general channel will be here. You know, for instance, whatever the message was will show up here. Okay. And then you have your monthly, just a monthly calendar dealing with your tasks. Obviously you can do your tasks from here as well, or you can add new tasks. And then last but not least in this section is motivation. And it's just a quick motivation, 4 little pictures to kind of help you, get you back on track, keep your focus. And then also a little widget here that I kind of designed to help give you a quote. Every time you refresh, it'll give you a new quote. Okay. So that covers the program section. So let me just compress all of these. And so that covers the program section. The next section we'll be talking about in the next video, we'll be covering the home. So I'll see you there.